The following is a Michigan Sesquicentennial Year presentation.
Looks ferocious. Here's a bear rug, the head of a Michigan black bear. Look at those teeth, little beady eyes. Boy, I tell you, they have a reputation that scares a lot of people. Bear stories are always fun. Anybody's encounter with a bear is always something to listen to. We have an encounter tonight that we'll tell you about. An enjoyable story and one that might make your hair stand on end. So stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost. It's Thursday night. Time for Michigan Outdoors.
From the rugged shore and woodlands of the north, its history of copper mines and iron ore, the Great Lakes fisheries. To the farmlands of the southern counties, we'll look around again at all that waits the sportsman in the state of Michigan. And sometimes when the moon brings out the diamonds in the snow, and the stillness of the forest lies encased in Arctic cold, the wind might whisper through the trees, listen if you can, it tells you of the beauty in this state of Michigan.
The picture is a little shaky. The quality of this video is really ragged because it's a home video camera. We normally can't use home VHS tape like this, but Clarence Archambault recorded an incident a couple of years ago that really tickled me. You've got it. It's a bear in a live trap. This isn't a DNR project, and it wasn't Marlon Perkins. The way the story goes up in Sheboygan, catching a small black bear near town was an accident. Behind the camera, Clarence talks about it.
What's the date today? July the 2nd, 1983. We're over here across the road from Winterford Street, and we have got a small cub bear trapped in a coon trap, a live coon trap. And Art's here, and Adam Herbal, and Scott. And this is Scott's trap.
The bear's a young one, a yearling, probably 60, 70 pounds. It's armed, and it could be dangerous.
The bear is very, very unhappy. Very unhappy bear.
I guess he is.
He just charged the door, and
He's PO'd.
he's a little bit upset.
Where's the clips you have to release them? Hips released.
They spend quite a bit of time standing around, talking, nervous about how to let this bear
Those things got
go.
to be pulled back, both of them, and then you can lift the door up. But the door, it fits so tight into the bottom, you really got to be prying on it to get it up.
No.
Ooh, he took a swipe at you.
Hear him chomping on teeth? He got some good ones.
Might have his teeth broken.
The looks on their faces are funny enough, but their comments about the bear are classics, especially checking to see if it's a male or female.
It's a male or female. Come on, Scott.
Reach in and find out. That's the only way to do it.
Spread his leg.
Spread the wire apart there and just reach in and see if you got anything.
Take it off a couple of swipes
I'm
after
sure,
that,
reach in that cage. Now they decide they're going to move it.
What we should do is carry the cage out to the field there to do it.
Why?
Well, then we'll have room to move if he decides to come out and make a U-turn around the door.
We're back here, the other side of the blacktop from Winterford Street, and we're going to try to carry this bear out that we've got trapped in a coon cage. And Scotty and Joe and Dick Billmeyer and Adam Herbal, myself, Clarence. Joe, I said Joe.
Give me that
And we're
blanket.
going to try to carry it out in a clearing before we let him loose. See if we can't get a better picture.
That's Cecil B. Archambault behind the camera.
4 of them to a clearing. And we're going to turn them loose. We hope. Hey, it seems like it's going to work out pretty good, eh?
They decided that it would be best to calm the bear down by draping those blankets over the cage so the bear couldn't see. Or maybe so they couldn't see the bear is more accurate. You've heard about being scared out of your skin? What about being scared out of your shoes?
I'm gonna have one mad bear in there.
Adam, he just lost his shoe. So you can tell what's going to happen now. When we turn this one loose, we'll probably lose them both.
Onward with the adventure. 4 macho guys, a cameraman, and a bear.
You got your shoes on, Herbal?
Yep.
They considered turning the bear loose in the woods, but that's where the bears live. They weren't too comfortable with that. Now they're ready. Almost.
We're just about ready to release this bear, and we hope that it goes the direction we want him to go in.
And now, instructions to the armed guard.
I would suggest that
Joe, you make darn sure that if he comes this direction that you nail him before he gets to me.
There was high tension in the air. Everybody in this group, all the macho guys, not just the cameramen, were fairly certain when this mad bear gets out of the cage, he's going to turn on them all and chew them up one at a time. You've seen the National Geographic special on the grizzlies here on PBS, or the one on polar bears, the man-eaters. Well, here we have a Michigan black bear.
I wonder if we should take the blankets off so we can... Let me get a picture of him inside of it again now before we turn him loose, Scotty.
If you've ever had a little neighborhood dog mad at you, nip at your heels, just think what this bear could do. I mean, he's really mad, clicking his teeth, snarling at the macho guys. He's got paws and jaws and claws and a temper. But what's he gonna do when he comes out? Who is he gonna go after first?
Huh? What?
ready?
Yep.
Well, ready or not, it's time to open that door for the mad bear. Brace for the attack. There he goes.
Look at that little sucker go.
That is a mad bear?
Well, there he went. Oh, Mr. Bear just left us.
A scared bear and a scared bunch of macho guys who will have many tall tales to tell about their brave encounter in Michigan outdoors. Some bear stories, I tell you, we hear more and more every year. They're always good. Fishing is heating up. Not too many fishermen, only 3 to 4 boats out in Houghton Lake, according to Ron Reed, but the fishing is right around the corner. How about catching one and landing yourself a spot in the trophy book? A reminder that spring turkey season is just around the corner. Turkey permits have been put in the mail, and maybe you'll be lucky this year like Mark Kudrovic from Troy was last year. His turkey had an 8-inch beard. That's what you need as a minimum for the Stroh's Hunting Award in the turkey division. That Tom weighed about 20 pounds, the best turkey Mark will ever taste. Memories and mounted heads, that's what we have left from deer season 1986. Lucky hunter Lester Jeske from Spring Lake bagged his 12-point in Mackinac County last November 15th. 180 pounds, it was a big northern deer. Les still has the taxidermist tag on the antlers, so he'll have a trophy for the wall along with venison in the freezer. Speaking of the freezer, this fish is still in the freezer, even though it was caught on April 3rd a year ago in Saginaw Bay's Hot Pond. Tim Walraven from Essexville up there in the Hot Pond country. I know they have a lot of white bass in that area. You caught a 2-pounder, 16 inches long, casting a bass buster.
Yep.
Fishing for bass.
Yep.
Were you disappointed?
No.
How does a 2-pound white bass compare with a largemouth or smallmouth?
About the same.
About the same on fight?
Yeah.
Did you eat it?
No.
Mount it?
I'm thinking about it. I got it in the freezer yet.
Oh, another one in the freezer. Thinking about mounting it. It's a 2-pounder. I think it's worth mounting. Congratulations, Tim. Tim Walraven from Essexville. A trophy white bass, the only fish Tim caught that day, but it put him in the trophy book. And here is probably my favorite fish of all time, the bluegill. I grew up catching him on a cane pole, still love to catch him, and I envy the size that Lloyd Judd from Traverse City catches. 11 3/8 inches, 1 pound, 3 ounces. He caught it on a wax worm fishing south Twin Lake in Grand Traverse County last year at the end of March. Last ice, but Lloyd Judd had the bluegill that put him in the trophy book as our Michigan Outdoors Trophy Angler of the Week. Now, I hear the allegation from time to time that trappers don't eat the meat from the animals they trap. Well, I tell you, muskrats are eaten not just by trappers, but by an awful lot of people in this state, especially at this time of year. Department of Agriculture, maybe you read last week, did a crackdown on the places that were selling muskrat. Well, we don't think that's necessarily too fair to the people who eat it and the people who trap it. Bob Garner has comments.
Well before Michigan became a state, settlers in the Monroe County area began a tradition of eating muskrat. Now, the early settlers in that neck of the woods were French Catholics, and during Lent, they weren't allowed to eat meat. The Indians that occupied the area ate a lot of muskrats, so some enterprising settler came up with the idea that since the muskrat was a water animal, it would be okay to eat it during Lent, and thus a tradition that continues today was born. Now, all was fine until a couple of weeks ago when the Department of Agriculture got involved. After finding muskrat on the menu of 3 Detroit restaurants, they decided muskrat couldn't be sold commercially. The problem, according to the Department of Agriculture, is that they are not inspecting the places where muskrats are being processed. They suggest that trappers get together and have a facility licensed in the area where the department can certify its cleanliness. Now, that's a laudable goal, but it probably won't work. Trappers who are the only source of muskrat aren't likely to fuss much with bureaucratic red tape for the 35 cents they get for a muskrat carcass. Dr. Heffron from the Department of Agriculture admits that he's unaware of any problems with tainted muskrats, and never has anyone registered a complaint with the department. Jerry Bartnick, one of the legislators from the area, says he's been to 6 muskrat dinners already this Lenten season, and he says he'll introduce a bill to prevent the Ag Department from enforcing their anti-muskrat rule. Pat Liebold from Monroe Frozen Foods agrees with Bartnick. Pat has 500 muskrats in his freezer right now and no way to sell them, as he has for 40-plus years because of the recent ruling. I, too, agree with the Bartnick approach to exempt the muskrat from the law. It makes sense, and it may be, in my opinion, the only way to prevent a small but very proud part of Michigan culture and heritage from disappearing.
At long last, Bob, Outdoor Digest is out. The current issue, we finally got it in the mail for our 25,000-plus Outdoors Club members. You'll be getting it, well, within the next few days if you don't have it by now.
Darn good issue, too.
Sure is. We got a lot of muskrat recipes in here you can adapt for muskrat. We have questions in our mailbag. One common one we get from young hunters. Bruce Ricco from Greenville says that on November 11th he's going to be 12. He'll be able to hunt deer with a bow. Even though I'm too young to get a rifle license, can I still hunt during gun season with my bow? Can I take a buck or a doe?
Bruce, you can't hunt during the gun deer season, no matter whether you're hunting with a bow or gun, till you're 14 years old, and that is the law. Sorry about that.
You have to have a gun deer license.
Another letter from John Byers of South Haven. He says, I'd like to receive a copy of the Outdoor Digest with the lyrics to your theme song. How can I obtain a tape of the music? Is one available?
We've been asked this question for years. Tom Canty finally came out with a tape. Details are in the Outdoor Digest. It's a cassette with a number of tunes on it, including, here it comes.
From the rugged shore.
Yeah, there it is. Full orchestration of the Michigan Outdoors theme song.
Lots of good Michigan theme songs and folk songs on it.
Right, all this is in the digest. Information on this, including our outdoor quizzes.
Can dogs hear significantly better than humans, or is it only their sense of smell that's superior? Dogs have a sense of hearing that is much more highly developed than man's. Tests show that what a man can hear at 175 yards away, a dog can easily hear at a mile.
Okay. Just take this baby right here. You have to turn it on. It's a battery. Push the button, and you've got it.
Well, if that isn't convenient.
Isn't that convenient?
That's beautiful.
I was talking to this fellow in February at the Central Michigan Sports Show. Now, he didn't know what Outdoors Forever was all about, but since he loved bass fishing, I was showing him some products he could use if he broke his arm, so he wouldn't have to quit fishing. But I had no idea that a family member of his recently became disabled, and this electric reel was just the ticket. Outdoors Forever just saved your summer.
You better believe it.
If you break your arm.
Well, not only that, I can take my dad fishing.
That's right.
He just had a stroke, and I was wondering how I'm going to be able to let him fish.
Well, there's the solution to one problem. You know, it seems like everyone we talk to nowadays has some kind of difficulty that slows them down outdoors or even causes them to quit. Since you hit that age, has it been as easy for you to hunt and fish in the last 10 years?
No, because I do have heart problems, so yeah, I sympathize with the getting around and getting out. It's harder all the time.
Now, what is it, having heart problems, you know, to look at you, to see you walk around, you don't look like you'd have any problems, but what is that, how does that affect your outdoor participation?
Well, I can't, the cold weather really bothers me. I don't dare to lift, I can't climb, so it does it. I used to love to bow hunt. Now it all has to be ground hunting. No more climbing the trees.
No more climbing the trees, but there's ways you can be real successful on the ground.
Oh, sure. I got out this year, and after about 2 hours in the cold, I had to start chewing the little tablets because the cold really does bother. But
well, we're going to be coming up with some solutions for things like that, because, you know, people with heart problems aren't really considered Nobody even gives it a second thought about it being a disability or something we should work on.
Yeah, it's very difficult walking in the woods, rough trails and stuff like that. It's about a quarter of a mile is about all you're good for.
I'd say that these people with arthritis, with heart problems, Roger, really sort of fall through the cracks because they don't have you have a chair. People can identify that.
Right, and I found the solutions. They don't think that there's any solutions out there for them. But as we saw with the first slide there, or show there, and the guy with the electric Royal Bee, he invented that to begin with for his father who had a stroke. And the guy was there wanted to use it for his father who had a stroke.
Yeah, things like this are so common. We have a variety of information packets that that Catherine Mulhopt has put together that explains, or at least has addresses, where you can contact as we find more and more solutions. Catherine, we've got some good letters back from people, too, who you've sent these to, haven't you?
Yes, in fact, I got one just the other day saying, "Dear sir, I just wanted to say thanks for sending me information on the Fisherman's Handy Helper and the Royal Bee. This should give me all the pertinent leads I need. I now plan to get back into the serious fishing I used to do before losing the use of my left arm and partial use of my leg. Thanks again," from Keith Anderson.
That's the whole idea of Outdoors Forever. Get these people back. Here you have things on campsites and fishing tackle and...
Yeah, we've got a few sheets started, and I'm planning to do some new ones. I hope to have some out on archery and shooting in the next month or so.
And, of course, the supplement here to the Outdoor Digest, Outdoors Forever supplement, we have things, an article, you've written a couple pages.
We have an article highlighting a number of the pieces of fishing equipment that we've come across. Those are the ones that we've found so far and have been most successful putting people in touch with.
And how people can get involved with Outdoors Forever this Saturday.
Saturday, 10 o'clock, Okemos High School.
That's right. We're going to have a workshop on fishing, of course.
Chapters.
Right, and a part of this is starting chapters, which is one of the events. Can't go wrong with this dish. It's not... well, it could be muskrat mozzarella. It could be.
Hey, it would be
I'm
good,
not
I'll
gonna
bet
tell.
you, with muskrat.
It sure would. This
love
is called
muskrat.
venison mozzarella that Shirley Cage from Oxford sent to us. Top contender in our recipe competition. We're going to find out just what it scores here from Bob Garner in a moment. Boy, look at this. Mozzarella cheese, tomatoes, big chunks of venison.
Everything great for a casserole dish.
I tell you. Well, Kath, let's take a look at the ingredients, because actually there are quite a few ingredients in here.
Starting with venison round pieces, very properly trimmed and wrapped here.
Well, and I got that, as you see, 1120. This is my deer from this year.
That's right. You're going to brown these pieces in seasoning, salt, and pepper, and the flour. And your seasoning pepper has actually 2 or 3 different kinds of pepper in it. It's got red pepper, black pepper, and a few other spices there. And it is a little bit stronger than just regular black pepper. And you got your seasoning salt, which has your garlic in it, and paprika, which gives it your color.
Well, that makes very highly seasoned breading or a
just
coating.
right there, a coating by itself. And you could brown these after you flour your pieces real good in butter. Now, like you say, you could just brown these right here and eat those out of the pan.
Oh, I tell you.
Want to sneak one out there.
Oh, you know, with that seasoning on the...
Oh.
Look at that seasoning on the breading. You can see that seasoned pepper. Woo!
Just like I say, you want to sneak one of those right out, just like that.
Oh, that'd be
Okay,
really
but we're going to
tasty.
go ahead and put these in a casserole dish and finish our recipe with the pieces here. Just layer everything. Everything is layered just like a regular casserole with mushrooms, green pepper, onions, and stewed tomatoes.
That's almost exactly what I put on pizzas.
That's just exactly what this is going to taste like. And you do just want to layer these. You don't really want to mix them up because they will cook all through each other. Got a half cup of each of these and a full cup of mushrooms. And we use fresh here. You could use canned. Get near the season where we can use fresh all the time.
3 spices, huh?
Now, these are found in Italian dishes. Got basil, which does turn dark when it's cooked, and it is a little bit darker anyway. And then parsley. You could use fresh parsley here, which is stronger. And you can see the difference in green. And garlic salt. And that's about the only spices in the casserole itself.
Well, that basil, doesn't it get strong if you
It
don't want
does.
to use too much?
Yeah, because it gets stronger with cooking, where parsley doesn't. Parsley kind of miles out everything. And that's that.
In
You're
the
going to
oven?
cook that, yep, for about an hour.
And where's the mozzarella?
Well, that'll come up, and that's just a perfect topping.
And this is how it looks out of the oven. I mean, delectable. Look at the big chunks of venison. They're outstanding. Of course, they would have been good just...
A hamburger or anything
well,
would have been good
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, but you could have eaten these, just
Oh,
fried them
yeah.
up for me.
Just browned them, yep.
How is that, Bob? You saved the cheese for last.
Freddie, this is like one of the best pizzas
Yep.
you ever ate.
Without the crust.
Put into, right, without a crust, put into a recipe.
Oh, I
It
love
is just dandy.
Oh, I love dealing with this stringy mozzarella cheese. And, well, you can see the tomatoes in here and the venison. We'll give the venison right here a test on tenderness. We'll just cut it here with a fork. Oh, it is.
Oh,
It's tender. Just cut it right with a fork. Oh, boy.
Can't go wrong.
I hate to talk with my mouth full, so I'm going to dig into this.
I
in
know,
just a
it's
minute.
absolutely delicious.
It's absolutely delicious. Shirley Cates from Oxford, you have a winner right there. Get some venison out of the freezer, some muskrat or whatever. You know, try this recipe this weekend. Get outdoors. It's a great place to be. See you next week. First.
Huh? What?
Ready?
Yep.
Well, ready or not, it's time to open that door for the mad bear. Brace for the attack. Here he goes.
Look at that little sucker go.
That is a mad bear?
Well, there he went. Oh, Mr. Bear just left us.
A scared bear and a scared bunch of macho guys who will have many tall tales to tell about their brave encounter in Michigan outdoors.